violence in the community, as well as youth who face violence. We know that the community is suffering right now, is grieving right now, mourning right now the loss of loved ones. I do want to let you know that there is a peace march and rally happening today, this afternoon at 4 p.m. It's to stop the violence, stop the killing, ceasefire, call to action. An invitation is being extended to all community organizations, churches, and families who have lost loved ones. Again, it's starting at 4 p.m. It's on the corner of Marcus and MLK. At Marcus, on the corner of MLK in California. We're remembering our loved ones lost to gun violence. So for more information, you can call the station right here at 559-478-6141. And let's see, some other announcements are coming up a little bit later in the show, but we're going to go ahead and jump into the discussion right now and welcome our guests to the studio. Sony, Rev?
I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in today. I'd like to thank our wonderful Lady J, who is working the board, and she has just been phenomenal. Many years here in Fresno. She's one of my leaders, I will say. She may be younger than me, but I don't believe that the age have anything to do with it. I believe it's the maturity that has everything to do with it. And we just want to thank Lady J for her inspiration for being a leader here in Fresno, working a board each and every day, every week, spending many hours in the studio, pre-recording, training, teaching. She just received her master's degree from Fresno Pacific University, and we're just happy and glad that she has crossed that journey. Matter of fact, I'm crossing the journey with her. I'm going after my master's degree, so you are what you're around. Always remember that. But today we have a special show for you today here in the studio. Our perspective. Many may not agree with our perspective, but it's our perspective. And we're here in Fresno once again, as I have renamed Fresno as Mississippi Fresno. If you know back in the day what happened in Mississippi, you will see that there's a lot of similarities, a lot of things that are similar that went on in Mississippi. Emmett Till was one of the major highlights of the lynching and murders that went on in Mississippi. And we still have that going on today here in Fresno. We still have the Emmett Tills, which I will call the Freddie Centeno. We have the Dylan Noble, which I will call the Emmett Till situation that has happened here in Fresno. And to my left, I have another one of my leaders. I keep using the word leader because that's what he is, a leader. Brother Ralphie, who's the leader of the MAPA Civil Rights Organization here at one time in Fresno. He's also the leader of the Fresno Brown Berets here in Fresno, California. It's just been great to work with my brother here day in and day out. All he got to do is say, Harris, I need you here at this time, I need you here at that time, and I'm there. I will drop whatever I'm doing to come, because I don't even have to know what the issue is, because he has that kind of credibility with me that I know whatever I'm going to has substance to it. There's not many people that I would do that for. And so I just like to welcome him to our show, our perspective here. And I'm going to let him introduce himself. And to my right, I have the brother of Freddie Centeno, who our young brother here was murdered, lynched, and executed here in Fresno, California. I want to reiterate what I just said. He was murdered, lynched, and executed here in the streets of Mississippi, Fresno. And he is here today, Brother Rogers, to tell his story, his side of the situation. Because it's always two stories to a side, two sides to a story. A coin has heads and tails. So the police always give their version of what they feel and what they see, but the family never get to talk about what they see and how they feel, and how he is still fighting for justice. Just this month, and he will go more into it, he had the first year anniversary for his brother Freddie, and I went to videotape. You can see that on YouTube. Type in Freddie Centeno, and that information will come up. And so you'll hear from both of them here today. And so I'm gonna go to my left here, my good friend, civil rights leader, motivator, liberator, Brother Ralphie, leader of the Fresno Brown Berets. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you, Floyd. And thank you for the words. I you know, a lot of us do this work, and it's unpaid, and it's not easy. But I gotta repeat what you said and give it back to you, because the truth is, it's a small community of activists and organizers. This is.
Is it on?
How about that? Can you guys hear me now? There we go. Can you hear me now? All right. So, yeah, I heard this was an also. Just really quick, want to say the same thing to Floyd about being a leader. You know, our community as leaders is very small, and oftentimes, you know, us leaders, quote unquote, we get a lot of things tossed our way, good and bad, and oftentimes it's definitely fun, you know, it goes unpaid, and so. Can you hear me? Testing 1 2.
Yeah, and so we just want to reiterate here in Fresno that the police situation that is going on here is really out the norm. It's sad that the videos, and you know, I thank God for video now. I thank God for the video cameras, the phones that we have right now that has the technology that we can live stream now on Facebook. We have the apps right now, the ACLU, that you just hit a button and it automatically record and upload, and that goes into the ACLU data, because everything is like a split second right now. You know, when you get to court, you know, did I see it? When did it happen? How did it happen? And all that is important right now. That's why I tell everybody that it's important that we be able to be on our guard at all times. That's important. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my microphone with Brother Ralphie here, so he can go into what he needs to say, because what he has to say is very important.
Well, again, thank you for inviting me, and again, us as organizers, it's difficult at times because we don't get the same support sometimes that paid people staff do, because a lot of times we volunteer our services, but you know, we've been at this for a while, and police brutality is a serious issue. And my background is as an educator. I've been teaching for 17 years now, and what's fascinating is to watch high school students today refuse to stand up for the flag in the classroom. And you know, it took Colin Kaepernick from the NFL to not stand up, to raise an issue that we have been, you know, talking about for years, and watching people, you know, suffer at the hands of police for years. And although it happened in the NFL, I'm at least happy to see it happening, because it raises a question about justice under equal treatment under the law, and that's something that I don't believe has been going on. And as Reverend Floyd Harris said, you know, Mississippi Fresno, you know, is that we will be having an event coming up, which I'll be talking about. I'm not sure if you want me to talk about now, but we will be having an event that it's called Know Your Rights, tomorrow, Sunday, the 18th of September, from 3 to 5 at Azteca Theater, which is in Chinatown, in Fresno, and that's at 838 F Street. And the purpose of this event is something that's not new. We've done these before. It's called Know Your Rights, where we want to teach people how to properly conduct themselves, so that way they don't get arrested, they don't get harassed, and also they don't get killed and shot. Because there's a legal loophole that law enforcement and other agencies will use, and they always say, I feared for my safety, I feared for my life, and they use that term. It's a legal term of art that's recognized in courts all the way to the Supreme Court, and that's what allows a lot of these police officers and people with power to pull the trigger and go back on the force to get paid vacation, and bam, they're back on the force, while the baby families hear nothing, know nothing, and are treated with the lack of dignity and respect. So tomorrow's event will be to hopefully inform people about their First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, Sixth Amendment, Eighth Amendment, and 10th Amendment, as well as the 14th Amendment rights. And those are all amendments that we should learn in school. But the truth is, they give it to us, but we don't truly learn what they are. And if we know our rights, we can prevent a situation, we can save a life, and probably save two at it, to be honest with you. But also, we can empower our community through information, through knowledge and education that's been lacking in terms of legal, knowing your rights, legal services. And by the way, I am no lawyer. I'm a teacher, like I said, but I do have a law degree from law school. I did graduate from law school, and so what we're doing is a basic know your rights on your amendments as far as what to do in a situation when encountering police.
Thank you, Brother Ralphie. One of the questions I like, you brought up the situation that's going on in San Francisco with the football player. What is it that everyone, from your perspective, what is it that everyone that's opposing him for not honoring the flag, is it the words that's in the national anthem, or is it just because he's doing it and feel that he has a right to do it? From your perspective, what is the real reason that you see people opposing him? I mean, I listened to the Ray Appleton show, Fox News and what have you. And now, on Facebook, I'm seeing that that high school students right now are kneeling, not honoring the flag. From your perspective as a teacher, would your superiors make you or say, you have to report to me what students are not honoring the flag? What is your perspective of what's going on now?
That's a good question, and let me start off by saying it's partly political. Rush Limbaugh, people like that who are in the political front, Ray Appleton, they're doing it for political purposes to claim that this is America and you're unpatriotic. It's all political, and it all it's weird. It all comes back to Obama somehow, but they do it for political reasons, and that's a shame, because if this truly is a country for the free, then aren't we free to even kneel down and not salute the flag? So they're being hypocrites, at the same time, but they know what they're doing. It's political. But on the other side, where you have some people, even some of our people in our communities, brown and black, who they look at it and think, why aren't they saluting the flag? They should be saluting the flag. Unfortunately, many of our people, and to this day, think that it is illegal to not salute the flag. And they don't realize that we have rights to speak out, and if there's an injustice being committed under that flag, then we need to speak out. We need to, stand up. And but unfortunately, many of our people don't realize that. So there's several reasons why. And in terms of the students not saluting the flag, since you asked this, I as a high school teacher, I personally do not salute the flag for both spiritual and political reasons. And when I do not do that, and I've been doing this for 17 years, my students see this, and I have to talk about it in the class so they understand. And I'm lucky to have supervisors and administrators who understand this. And by the way, it is against the law for any teacher to punish a student for not saluting the flag. Any teacher who punishes a student, who disciplines a student for not saluting the flag, that school district can and will be sued. I'm talking about public schools, including universities. So for anybody out there thinking that it is illegal, it is not. And parents should know this, because many students get in trouble by teachers who come in there not knowing the law, and they're asking for a lawsuit. This happens with substitutes and teachers and administrators. So I'm fortunate not to be in that situation with those administrators, but I've seen it way too many times, and I've seen teachers even tell students, go back to where you came from, talking about immigrants, or you don't like it, leave this country. And that's not good, because when a child gets disciplined in school, now you look at the pipeline to prison, and a lot of those kids, they are of color, they're black, they're brown, and sometimes they're labeled as rebellious because they didn't salute the flag. And if it starts there, that's a shame, because we're supposedly the land of the free, well then let's practice what we say. If not, don't preach that land of the free stuff to me. But hopefully that can answer your question there.
All right, yes, it did. And when I start talking about, when you start saying the words of the Pledge of Allegiance, when you say something, it should really have meaning, and it should have truth to it. And so when I get to all of it, but especially when I get to this part where it says one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, I'm saying all of who and justice for who? Because, when we're seeing how, the Black Lives Matter movement started, it started up under the same flag. It started up under the same